Hello, my name is Francis. I'm a trained government remote viewer, also trained in interspecies communication. I ran a successful business for 30 years. I have a degree from the University of Miami in political science. Don't do that, that's a waste of time. And I was sex trafficked and da, 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 da. I have a long list of things that I know about, have been involved in. Anyway, I have this podcast, News from Other Dimensions. The only reason I'm here today, which is Thanksgiving, is because Facebook there's a plan to take down the people that have information about other people who behaved poorly. Okay, so there are people that would like to take me down, and they include social media. So the last important person that was taken down was that girl, and darn, because of my mind control programming, now I can't remember her name. The very nice girl that ended up living in Australia. She said, I'm not suicidal, and then she was dead. But they tried to kill her before in a car accident. So, anyway, I'm not suicidal. I'm still alone. Can't see my family or anybody for Thanksgiving. I'm not even remotely suicidal. We had such an incredible chat yesterday where I asked my followers, the ones who would call it the Mantrista movement, to tell us so that we could put it in a book that we're finishing about the different techniques, things we've learned, how it changed their lives. And honestly, I was floored by the number of people that have removed diseases, taken care of issues, have said, bottom line, it's before and after. It's not about meeting me, it's about techniques to help you navigate and get in control and be master of your destiny in the other dimensions, which is where everything starts. Nothing starts in the physical dimension. Physical dimension is a manifestation. But the only reason I'm saying this today is because yesterday I was warned that there's this final plan to take me down. But you can't die, Candace Owens, unless you want to die. And I hear you, Candace Owens. Whoa, do I hear you? And I know that you're not a liar. Just make sure you don't get too tired. And just make sure you don't get too angry at the people that you know are so goddamn dumb. Don't. You're here for revelations. And you knew before you incarnated, okay, so you don't believe in reincarnation. You know what you're here for, and you're doing it. And I'm not saying that you should stop or not stop. What I'm saying is make sure you don't get too tired. And I do not think you're suicidal. But when we get so over it, it's too easy to just kind of let somebody else determine what's going to go on. In my case, and I'm sure in Candace's also, but I'm just telling everybody who's in that position, just make sure, because it's not a question of will to live. When you get exhausted, I'm not exhausted. I'm very happy. I'm finishing the book on the Mantrista techniques. The chat yesterday was phenomenal. But let me show you what I ran in today on Facebook, which is this little note. Only you can see this message, Francis. Can we help? If you're going through a difficult time and want support, we're here. Talk with a friend, find ways to support yourself, contact a helpline. Well, they should contact me because, contrary to them, I'm on my way up and they're not. So, anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Oh, God. The ones who are suicidal are the Cuban cartel. Oh my God, those guys are crazy. I think a couple of them already left, but they were older. So it's kind of easy to just let a disease take over and you're gone. But I'm going to remind you that the Mayans knew a lot about this time. The Mayans said that at the end of end times, that the dark side of people would come up and get revealed. Of course, that's Revelations, and that's what's happening with all the sex trafficking and the stealing and the this, and that is what was going to take down. I need to find the exact words that they said, But basically, that's what's going to take down the planet, is revelations of people's dark side, which means they also have a light side. Man, am I witness to that, being a mind control victim. Even with the people that were god awful, they did have love. And even the people that are great, they can want to kill somebody. This is a planet of light and dark, and until we get that, not good. Anyway, so that's why on Thanksgiving I'm giving this, because let it be really clear. But I'm not really saying this to the generic public or to my family, because I think everybody knows I'm not suicidal. I'm saying this to the dumb people that think that they're going to be able to continue to pull the wool over the eyes of the people that really want the truth now. It's coming out. Give it up. Confess. And then go find yourself and ask yourself, why on earth would I have done all of that? Which is what a group of psychologists have suggested. That rather than saying, classifying people in psychology, they're this, they're this, they're this, you should go to root cause. Why on earth would they have done that? So these people, I was one of them, until I finally turned around to my handler and said, you know what, go ahead and kill everybody. I'm not doing this anymore. That's it. It's over. And I'm going to start talking. But if you don't know the basic rules of the planet, you're not going to be able to get all this stuff figured out. And you're not going to be able to figure out what to do with all the people that are going to come out now. Like this society is going to collapse. Okay, well, maybe there's something we need to look at that's a little bit deeper than people's behavior, and ask why. And by the way, it all revolves around sex. So you might want to read my book called Sex, We Need to Figure This Out, because it's not just sex trafficking. How about population collapse? The other day, somebody was on X and was saying, you know, I think it was the Muslim nations, they're outbreeding us. Yeah, I'm not surprised. You Christians, I love Christ. I live more like him than all you Christians. You Christians allowed the Vatican to say that Jesus' parents never had sex. Okay. And Jesus never had sex. But this was 300 years after he died. And there's reasons for that. I'm not going to go into them again. And then you wonder why the Muslims are outbreeding us? Come on. That's why you have to go down to root cause. But let me give you the stuff that has me very happy. This black magic. You all, by now, it's in the Bible. Ancestral curses, so don't do the Christian thing on me. No, I don't believe in that stuff. Well, you can't just pick and choose things, okay? Or at least you have to have an explanation. But this galactic black magic, and the biggest one that I found that I've been wanting to find for a long time, so I could understand, was how come people can't see stuff? How can these groups bury people like they have buried me? And so finally, in my group chats, we went and found what in Spanish is called el velo del olvido. And in English, it's the veil of forgetfulness, I think they call it. It's black magic, but it turns out that the galactics do it too. Well, but that makes sense. We're beings and they're beings too. And a lot of the beings that we are work with the bad beings from other planets. We found it a week ago, 10 days ago, I don't know. My consciousness totally shifted. Symbolically, it's like a really big tent. And I said this the last podcast, but I'm going to say it again. Because knowing that black magic, you don't even remember. So it's like a big tent. And under it, there are like desks. And there's a desk that's assigned that has the stuff from the Vatican that they don't want to have come out. But it's underneath this tent that is the veil of forgetfulness. And what we found there was that the Vatican wanted for people to think Jesus didn't have sex, because they wanted to emasculate him. I think I have, let me put it up here in Spanish and I'll translate it into English. Um, on that table, they wanted to control Christians. So they have instructions have instructions for the leaders of Christianity how to get um, about being Christian, and they have to take away the masculinity and the sexuality of Christ, and that way the Christians will be more submissive. Well, that's exactly what happened. But it doesn't make any sense because, as I say, if you come home from school and you tell your mother that story, Jesus Christ had two parents, male, female. He didn't have two female. He didn't have two males. He didn't have none, no sex. And you're supposed to follow him and be like him, but you can't have sex. But you do have to pair off and get married because just hanging out there, I don't think is fun. Anyway, the whole point of the matter is that this black magic with the veil of forgetfulness is used by Schiff, Schumer, the whole military mind control program in the United States, and I'm sure in many other countries. So when you can wrap your head around that, you can understand why 300,000 children have been missing and nobody was screaming. And as I said, those 300,000 children were mainly Hispanics. Hispanics are very family oriented. One kid gets lost for 2 hours, the entire neighborhood finds out about it. So you have 300,000 children with two parents, four grandparents, aunts, and uncles who are married, all the cousins, and the entire neighborhood back in their old country. And there's not a tsunami of screaming. No, it's this thing that comes over. You're gone. It's like a drug, but it's magic. Please make yourself remember this because it will explain a lot of things. That's how they've been able to get away with the whole sex trafficking thing for so long. So I was on the top of this page, but that was before I saw the thing from Facebook about, darn, we hope you're not suicidal. I put, I love Revelations. I love Revelations because we are going to know everything. And when we go know everything, we are going to understand why good people can do bad things. And we maybe be able to accept what I believe they know in Tantric Buddhism is, which is the people that do the most god awful things, they are actually the most evolved. They've been willing to sacrifice themselves for the rest of us because they're carrying an energy that landed on planet Earth that many souls are not strong enough to carry. So, anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. No, I'm not suicidal. I'm actually really happy. I have a book for you very soon, um, which are the Mantrista techniques and the most important phrase that people use after discovering this movement, which is not an organization. You don't pay fees. You don't have to sign up any place. It's like a before and an after. It's before I'm victimized by all this stuff, which is really stuff that's in other dimensions you can't see. And then after it is like I see something or something's going on and I go, okay, which of this, what do I need to do? Which technique? And it works. It's very work. And why does it work? Because I was in a really ugly military mind control program and I was not allowed to work on anything that was not effective and efficient. And that's what I'm doing today, following the instructions. But in this case and at this time, it is my intention that is determining what it is that I'm doing. By the way, I don't have it available in English, but I guess you could pay for it and you'd be getting it anyway. I do something called Purifications, Fox, and you sign up for it and I give healings in mass and they work. Uh, it really works. I'm kind of surprised. In the autism, in all of them, when I do the clearing, I also kind of see stuff and then I say it and I give a report, which is on YouTube. The autism report, I need to say it, and I don't think I have said it. The environment of the kid needs to change. Those windows need to be opened. You can't be recycling the same air. You need the elements to move through the home or wherever it is that the kid is, school. The kid needs to have more contact with the elements. Water and earth are the two they need. The solar plexus is what's most effective. It's called the garbage can of emotions. And the children that I did pull out of autism, don't send me on any autistic kids. I will not take care of one. The kids that I did pull out of autism in the 90s, all of them, their parents followed my instructions and took their kid for spirit release therapy. Not once, several times. And it worked. And I wasn't the one who said that they were no longer autistic. It was their medical doctors. They even did a very long segment for 4 minutes on a magazine show in Spanish, in Primer Impacto. So I'm excited about that because this is the kind of information I want to get out to the public. Also, if you have a problem with your bladder, whether it's prostrate with men or just cystitis with women, your mantra is even though I hate men or even though I hate women, depending upon who you have sex with or who would be your sexual partner if you're one of the few people left on the planet having sex. One of the things I was so happy about yesterday was we got 2 or 3 testimonials of people that took my purifications. They paid the $10 and they did it 2 or 3 times and they no longer have a problem with their bladders. But they also, what I tell everybody is you do this mantra. Once you pay me, fine, do the mantra. I'll do the clearing, I'll do the report, but you just keep doing the mantra because that's the issue. And what did I find on diabetes? I feel like slapping people around, except you know what? The person I should probably slap around is me. I don't have diabetes diagnosed, but I haven't been to a regular medical doctor in forever, decades. That's how come I've kept myself so healthy because I've kept away from those people. So, guess what the bottom line in diabetes is? They're not happy, but they're not going to change their lives. No, 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 no. Now, do they know this consciously? No. They're going to continue on this life that they're not happy with. Well, that's a big part of the population. Maybe that's why so many people have diabetes, pre-diabetes, type 1, type 2, who the hell knows what else. So, rather than slapping all of you around, I'm going to change my life. I don't think I have diabetes, but I also do a gazillion things, lots of seaweed and a lot of stuff that balances out. And I do mantras all day long. It's sickening how many mantras I do in a day. But if I didn't, I would absolutely have the worst diabetes. So you think you have a tendency, it runs in your family, you have diabetes? Listen, mister, don't wait for me to slap you around. Do your little mantra, even though I'm afraid to change. I love and accept myself. And know that you are afraid to change. For some reason, you accepted. You accepted whatever it is. You're not really happy, but you're not going to really look at it. Okay. By the way, that's what I found was also the case with Alzheimer's. I did a study on Alzheimer's that was, I'll tell you about that about the next time. But how about if I give you a mantra? Please, God, help us with our intention that the sex trafficking revelations be miraculously graceful. Please, God, help us with our intention that the sex trafficking revelations be miraculously graceful. And I have to give you the map. Okay? Give me a second. The US map, I did it. It looks great. I mean, if you look on the news, you would think the country is never going to get back together again. Actually, in the other dimensions, it looks really good. There's a couple of things I didn't understand about it. Today's Thanksgiving. Okay. Okay, here's the map. We have to wait for it. Look, and you have to pay attention to Venezuela. The thing that came, you have to pay attention to Venezuela. That's ground zero for apparently sex trafficking. It's ground zero for landing of the good and the bad ETs. It's ground zero for the petroleum type substance that the spaceships need. Um, so here's the map of the United States. I did it this afternoon, probably 2 hours ago. Canada still flatlined. The United States heart centered, no tears, so that's good. The Merkaba, which is the Galactic Federation Protection, is pink. This is good. The frequency, which is the blue and green lines that go over, are not blue and pink, which I would have thought. The pink is now green, which means that the female part of the frequency is getting a healing. Green is the color of the heart chakra. Then you have all the pyramids, which total protection. Florida looks great. East coast of Texas looks great. Never looked into why the West Coast looks terrible. Mexico is iffy. They got a lot going on. I think there's a lot of threats to the people in power, such as the president. They should, maybe Facebook is also sending her little things that say, we hope you're not suicidal. They don't say that. They say, do you need help? Call a hotline. Anyway, the Caribbean nations are still grateful. And the only thing I put on there that I don't know what it means is danger underneath. Danger underneath volcano. I don't know what that means. I should look it up, but not today. It's Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed your turkey, but let me tell you, when you pull something out from under the veil of forgetfulness, el velo del olvido, it's actually kind of funny. And we are in Revelation, so it's appropriate. We probably would not have, because we had to make a decision. I had to make a decision. Do we just take off this tent and then everybody's going to know everything all at once? And I said, you know what? I think that's irresponsible. It's too much. Let's figure out what tables to take out from under there. We took out the one from the Vatican. By the way, I'm not sure if they still are trying to kill me with their satanic rituals, which started in a morgue and a hospital in Miami on the water next to Grove Isle. I'm not sure they're still trying to do that, but I do know that they killed 2 people in the process because they used people in the process of the satanic ritual. And I really don't care if you do the same thing you're doing to Candace. She's not lying. I don't really care. I know what I saw. I know what too many people in my group saw. And it's kind of compatible with what a lot of people have been saying. Why all that secrecy over there? They're not just hiding their money. Anyway, but there was something else I wanted to tell you. So we pulled out the table for the Vatican. We pulled out the table having to do with the Mantrista movement, my followers and me. So on a clip on Venezuela, that maybe I would get 40 people, and that would be like a lot that liked the clip. The latest, I put it 2 days ago, 4,000 and some. I went from 40 to 4,000 and some. And the other clip's 688. Now, for a lot of you people, those are no numbers at all. But you need to understand, I have been under that veil of forgetfulness. People couldn't find me if their life depended on it. And if they found me within 2 seconds, they would forget about me because black magic works. The Cuban cartel had me completely buried. The Vatican, now I understand they must have also done the exact same thing. And who knows, the people into sex trafficking, Schiff, all the rest, use that black magic. But I'm just pointing out in terms of my numbers, my social media numbers, that how do you go from 40, 20, 10, 6 people liking something to 4,000 and some? Coincidentally, 4 days after you took off some black magic. Oh, so when Facebook, if they roll around again, I'm going to say, Facebook, I don't know who's feeding you information, but just look at my numbers. And YouTube, of course, I don't even bother contesting. It doesn't matter what I put up, what music I put up, and I limit myself to only what I paid for. YouTube, nope. 6,000 countries will not be seeing your YouTube videos. Well, I didn't know there were 6,000 countries. I'm just joking. That's a joke. I didn't know there were that many countries. They just say all of these countries, and then the list is from here until tomorrow. They're not going to see your stuff, and you're not going to get monetized. They don't pay me anyway. I got to get checks for like $80, $30. I don't think even that from YouTube. One day, all of these people. Hmm. I just realized the good thing about learning. Oh, I just realized, whoa. The only problem is we cannot take all of those corporations, institutions, movement, we cannot pull them all out and put them in the full light at the same time because it's going to be a total collapse of everything. But who decides? Who decides? I decided the other day we're taking out the Vatican because they're taking me down. Not just me, my people. Who else did we take down? The Vatican. We brought that one out, and then we brought out the table that had to do with me and my movement. I don't think we did any other ones. But I know because I'm getting pressured. Interesting. Power, information from the other dimensions. I'm trying to tell you, widen your lens. Don't just do political gossip, go down to cause. But all that time, just keep widening, keep widening, keep widening. By the way, religion is the opium of the masses. Who is that? Thank you, government programming to not remember faces and names. Politics is the opium of the people that discuss politics. It's opium. It keeps them asleep to where they can get their rage under control and they can talk and accuse and this and that and the other. They're taking out the veil, they're taking out the Vatican underneath the veil of forgetfulness is the reason why there are now a lot of posts. I look at X. On X, people are going, why didn't I notice this before? Somebody put up something today, say Jesus was a Muslim. Well, that makes some sense. And Jesus was not white skinned. And Jesus had two parents. And how about those burning bushes? So, all of that, and everybody's just like when I brought out the sketch, the photograph of, and I'm looking here to see if I have it on it, about Saint Teresa. And she wrote about spiritual ecstasy. Well, if you see the statue Bertolini did of her, a sculpture that's very famous, she's in the middle of an orgasm. And when I showed it to people, now it's no longer news to the people that follow me. But when I did it originally, people looked at me and went, "Oh my God, she is." I said, "Yeah, now read her autobiography." And I would give them the piece where she described spiritual ecstasy. Well, she just described orgasm. And the angel with the burning lance next to her, we don't need to discuss that now, do we? So this whole veils of forgetfulness, which regular santeros and black magicians know how to do, okay? It's done on a planetary level and it's done at a galactic level. They can just make things disappear, and they do. We're not here to make you afraid. We're here to wake you up. Maybe a little bit more slowly. It shouldn't all come out at one time because it's going to be one more mess. Anyway, thank you. Bye. And I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Really. Oh, that was another thing. Somebody an ex said, if we love turkey so much, how come we only eat it at Thanksgiving? And ain't that the truth? Maybe we don't love it that much. Those are the things we need to look at. Bye. We are on Spotify and apple. Oh, and all the questions they're asking about the apple and Adam and the Garden of Eden. And the other guy said, how come I never noticed that? The veil of forgetfulness.